it's year two. What's one thing at the start of this season is going to be less of a priority for you on Friday compared to a year ago?
Less of a priority? I just think we know more about our personnel this year. Kind of been through the fire with a lot of them last season, learned a lot about them. More mature as an offensive unit as a whole. Know a lot more about the quarterback as well. But still, I think it's anytime you're going into a first game, we do have some new transfers in some places. You're just focused on those first game things. You're trying to avoid the penalties, pre-snap particularly, taking care of the football. And then when you get out there, you're in an environment, playing in front of a big crowd now, and can guys just go execute things that you're asking them to do, the stuff that they've been practicing for the last 3.5 weeks. And I'm excited. I love our group, and I'm excited to watch them go compete.
Jonathan yesterday said that you've had this scheme in place for about a decade, but you're going to see new things on Friday night. So, what are those new things going to be?
From the defense or
from the offense?
Oh, from us. Yeah, no. There's always every year you're constantly evolving, I think, and taking this is the stuff that we did really well that we want to build on, and then doing some research from the NFL and other teams in college, what people are having success with, and constantly looking to improve and grow, and then also kind of as you get more comfortable with our personnel, what are they comfortable with, what we can do with them. So each year looks a little bit different that way, but still kind of holding true, I guess, to your core.
You said about five extra guys, maybe 4 or 5 extra behind the starters in the offensive line. I wonder if you got a little more in terms of clarity with positions for the starters and how you plan on maybe repping guys throughout the game, either rotating into different positions or if you plan on just plugging them at the same spots.
Yeah, no, I think the plan is to rotate them up front. We feel very good about our depth, and I think Jim he feels comfortable with that. 8, 9, 10 guys, and he's gonna rotate them. I think he's got a plan. I'm not gonna go any further on that, but you'll see a group rotating into guard, rotating into tackle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there gonna be more position based where guys are gonna
more
they're
position,
coming in at
more
right
position
guard,
based.
left guard.
Yeah, more position based to start.
What do you know about Western scheme?
What's
what do you know about Western scheme on defense? It seems like
we don't know much. It's a first-time defensive coordinator, and was in the NFL I think last year, and then at Notre Dame prior to that. And we've been really kind of preparing for everything. The good thing is our defense gives you a lot of different looks. We've seen a lot of different things during training camp. I think going into that first game for us, it's our focus has been on us and executing our base responsibilities, and then getting into the game and kind of seeing what we're getting, be able to adjust from there. But yeah, we're pretty much unsure on what we're going to see. It'll be a challenge for us for sure.
How do those adjustments come in game when you got something where you're completely, I don't necessarily say unprepared for, but
yeah,
there's a lot more unknowns maybe with a first time DC.
Totally, yeah. I mean, it's you'll just get out there and you're kind of going through your core stuff and trying to see what you're getting, and it'll be a lot of conversations in between series, and it's nice. I think it's nice now where you have the video, us as a staff being able to digest that and then kind of tweak our plan, based on the looks that we're getting.
I was talking to some folks at Downey High School the other week, and they talked about how you watched Aiden throw for about 10 minutes on the recruiting trail, gave an offer, never looked back. I'm curious, what made you so sure in that moment?
No, I mean, he checked a lot of the boxes with the, athletic ability and the way that he threw the football. I think that was, a lot of people could have sat there and said it was a no-brainer. I think for me, it was more watching how he interacted with his teammates, how he carried himself confidently, how his teammates responded to him, and just his overall presence, that energy that he had, and guys fed off him and responded to him, and that was something that really jumped out to me, and felt like he just had a huge upside and someone that we wanted to work with.
Those, I guess you could call them intangibles, if you will, like those elements of his game, how important are those for a team that needs to take steps like this offense does?
Yeah, it's big, and we've really challenged him in the offseason with his leadership, maturity, and knowing that, hey, all eyes are on him at that quarterback position, especially now having the experience, and challenge him to take some steps that way. And I think he's grown. I still think he has room to continue to grow in that area, but I think he's taken some steps there, and I just think he's grown so much from last season. I think he learned a lot through kind of some of the ups and downs and some of the mistakes that he made. But the good thing is he played a lot of football for us in our system, and I think he's grown, and I'm excited for him to kind of take the next step this year.
How important is it
Golden done
for Alessio to get game reps when it matters? And would you ever consider doing something like you did with Aiden, where he would come in for a prescribed series?
Yeah, we haven't really talked about that. We feel great about Alessio. You know, Alessio had a really good camp, a good spring, progressing, gets the ball out of his hand, big arm, and we feel super comfortable putting him in the game. But right now, we feel like Aiden is our guy. He's got the experience, and we're behind him, and it's kind of his deal. And when Alessio's time comes, it'll come. And Jonathan and I we haven't talked too much specifically about that, like we did at Oregon State. Oregon State, it was a little bit more, a little bit kind of unsure. DJ was kind of new coming into that system, so was Aiden, and we wanted to let it play out a little bit. With Aiden's experience in our system from last year, felt like it was, it's his deal right now, and we want him to be, the focus to be on him.
What's Matt Golden done on your side to earn a captain spot in 8.5 months or 9 months roughly?
No, I mean, he's a really good football player, and he's tough, he's competitive, and I just think he kind of brings an attitude about him and a sense of urgency about the way that he kind of prepares, just having done it for a long, at this level, and guys have a great deal of respect, and not just the guys up front, like the skill guys. Like when he says something, brings the offense up, guys listen, and that's been really cool to have a veteran guy like that when practice is slow or we're struggling, he can call the group up and refocus them and get them going in the right direction. But yeah, he's been a great addition, man. I mean, I've been fired up, and it was something that we were kind of missing a little bit last year in that leadership role. It's been awesome to have him that way.
You mentioned about hitting on all 4 transfer receivers during camp.
Yeah.
A couple of those guys dinged up in and out. How much fluidity do you expect maybe at that 3rd receiver spot behind Nick and Omari? And then also, how has Jack looked in coming back last week?
Yes. No, it's been to start at the receiver spot. You talk about Rodney Bullard, and Krishan McCray, and both those guys been really productive at their last spots. Came in, learned the offense, and we can play them outside, can play them inside, and so you're going to see both those guys in addition to Nick and Amari, and just feel like we've got a deep group there. Feel like we've got some good speed and on the perimeter opportunity. When you hit a short pass for those guys to make something big happen or take the top off the defense. So I'm excited. I'm excited about all 4 of those guys and the different ways we can use them. And yeah, it'll be. I'm excited to see him, I guess, compete and showcase what we've seen in practice.
And Jack, how's he looked coming back?
Yeah, Jack's looked good. I mean, it's been great to have him back, and the nice thing about him is he's played in the system now for 2 years, and veteran guy, and just getting back and getting comfortable. It's been great back. I know the quarterbacks really enjoyed
I was
having
going
him.
to say, with all those guys, having them, it's probably a little different when they're younger guys trying to make their name versus guys who have experience to kind of, like the old NFL camp thing where veterans would sit out and know when it's ready to go.
Yeah, no, I think it was good. We're kind of patient, took our time through it, made sure it was the right time to come back, and kind of eased him back into it. He's done a nice job with it. It'll be good to have him back.
How was your development behind him at that position to give a tight end for that chance?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, one of the things about having a veteran guy that's been a little bit dinged up is the young guys get opportunities, and Jaden is one. Is a true freshman that's come and we put him in some passing situations and being able to split him out and do some things. He's shown up in both of the scrimmages. And then Kai Rios, kind of that experience that he brings, and bigger body. Yeah, I feel good about that group. I think Jack just kind of brings that experience, and then the ability to kind of separate in some one-on-one situations a little bit more than some of those other guys.
Do you like a situation where you have 3 or even 4 backs in a September game, or would you rather have 1 or 2 guys just have it?
I've done it both ways, and I think had success both ways. And I think for us, right now, I mean, you're going to see multiple backs, and you kind of ride the hot hand and see who kind of steps up through the first 3 games. And, we've got an idea. We feel good about those, really the top three that have been rolling right now with Mackay, Brandon, and Elijah. And you're going to see all three of those guys. And like I said, Coach KB will, feel like maybe the right back per situation, or like you said, we're riding the hot hand. And we've done it both ways, and right now it'll be more of a by committee.
How much of that usage is scripted and how much will just be what happens on the field?
There's definitely some of it scripted per personnel, what we feel guys through training camp, what we feel like their strengths are. And, if we get a better guy in a certain situation, we're going to get him in there. And then, but a bulk of it is just whoever's in there is going, and that'd be up to KB to decide, hey, I feel like he's seeing it really well, or he's got a good feel for it right now. I'm going to ride with him. Or maybe if a guy needs a blow, we can sub him there.
Sounds like you guys really liked what you saw from the run game in those first two scrimmages. How are you seeing signs of this potentially being a really improved area of the game?
Yeah, hopefully we've seen signs, and I felt like we did take steps from the first scrimmage to the second scrimmage, and obviously we're a lot further along than we were a year ago, and I think it goes to really the depth up front on the offensive line, and being able really with those first two groups that you felt like, hey, we've got some guys that can move people and gotten stronger and got some experience, but feel a lot better about our run game from where it was a year ago, for sure.
Thanks.